Hello everyone, my name is Chrissy and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm covering my April 2019 wrap-up. I read 8 books this month, so let's get into it. The first book I read is After the Green Withered by Kristen Ward. In this book, water is currency and the rich get all the water that they need, while the poor are rationed out water that they can make from their jobs. We follow a young lady named Honora who is in high school at the beginning of this book, and it ends with her in a career at the DMC, which is the agency that controls water rations throughout the communities and subsequent other communities. Enora thinks that her job at the DMC is just trying to find new water sources, and she's quickly proven wrong about what her job actually is. So we get to see that whole adventure and the horrors that Honora ends up finding out. I really like this book and looking at what the world could be if water sources dried up and if we had to use water as currency and as a tradable resource. I also like some of the creep factor that comes into this book after the second half when Honora is finding out about what her job actually is. It was terrifying, and you really felt for Honora and tried to figure out, well, what's going to happen? Is Honora going to be okay? Is she going to get through this? So I really liked that aspect of it. The only thing that I do wish with this novel is that we didn't start out with Honora in high school, that we actually started when Honora gets a job at the DMC. I just felt that would have cleared up some of the pacing issues. I think I understand why the author started it out in high school with Honora, and that's because Honora has a friend who gets arrested, and this shapes a lot of how Honora views the world and views her job later on. But I felt like that could have been explained as a background side note, mainly because it just felt slow at the beginning. I just wish that we could have gotten at the meat of it early on. The next book I read is Helen and Troy's Epic Road Quest by A. Lee Martinez. This is the only book I finished for Fantasy-a-thon, which is why from now on, all readathons that I'm going to do, I'm going to try to fit all the challenges into one book. Helen and Troy's Epic Road Quest is about 2 teenagers named Helen and Troy who end up getting sent on a quest by one of the old gods. By the way, all the gods are real in this universe. They go on this quest and they have to fight off biker gangs, and they have to fight off dragons and cyclopses. It's a very awesome look at mythology in a very funny setting. A. Lee Martinez is one of my favorite authors, and this book did not disappoint. I did do a full book review, and I will link it down in the description below. The next book I read is Killing Adam by Eric Bean. Killing Adam explores the possibilities of having implants which give us virtual reality, kind of, where we can peruse the internet with our minds. People are given these altered reality chips, which allows them to network with other minds available. Adam is a singularity that is derived from everyone kind of being chipped to one another, so he's the main brain, kind of, that hooks everyone together. He's not the best intentioned singularity, he's kind of an a-hole, so there's a fringe group who is trying to get rid of Adam. They manage to recruit a young man named Jimmy, who I really shouldn't call a young man because I think he's in his 30s or 40s. Jimmy can't have one of the implants that Adam has been divvying out to people because he had a brain injury from football. So it's about Jimmy and trying to take down Adam. This book was pretty creative. I really liked the altered reality and how people connected to it, and how it affected everyone, and the fact that there were people who could not connect to this altered reality because of different brain injuries or different things that happened with their neurological pathways. Overall, the biggest issue I had with this book is the ending. I felt that it was just too wrapped up. It was just too clean of an ending. I know that sounds weird. I just wished for a little bit more ambiguity. The next book I read is What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty. We follow Alice, who wakes up in a gym, and she's wondering, why am I in a gym? I don't go here. And we find out that she had hit her head while taking a cycling class, and she woke up having lost 10 years of her memory. So where she was perfectly happy and recently pregnant at the age of 29, at the age of 39, her marriage is deteriorating, and she has 3 kids. So Mentally, she's 29, but her body is 39, and she's trying to find out why exactly her marriage went south. I have recently been introduced to Liane Moriarty, and I'm so glad that I picked this book up. I actually picked this book up for a friend of mine for her birthday, and when my friend read it in a day and said, "It's great, you need to get it," I went out and got myself a copy. The plot, the pacing, the characterizations is just all so good. I also loved that Liane Moriarty took this book in a direction I didn't think that she was going to go. When the main mystery of this book is revealed, it's not what I thought at all. So I'm really happy that I read this, and I think it's just great. I heavily recommend it to everyone. The next book is In Other Lands by Sarah Reese Brennan. This follows a young boy named Elliot who gets sent to magical school, which is in this dimension that only a few humans can go to. He ends up making one friend, really. He ends up making a few friends, and it's really about his relationships because he's a very prickly individual. So it's more of how he navigates his friendships and how he even gets them to begin with. I did do a full book review for this book, so I'll link that down in the description below as well. The next book I read is Byrd Box by Josh Malerman. Now this follows a world where these creatures come in, and if you see these creatures, then you want to kill yourself. So we follow this young woman named Mallory who ends up being pregnant at the time that these things are killing people off. And it bounces back from the past and present. In the present day, she has 2 kids. She is trying to get them into a safer place in this community that is down the river. However, she has to do this blindfolded so as not to hurt the kids or hurt herself. In the past, it just shows when she got to this safe house. I put safe house in quotations. But when she gets to this house and she is with these other adults and the time that she spends with them and how she gets to the point where she has 2 kids and she has to move house. I like this book. I did see the movie, and I actually saw the movie before I read the book, which wasn't too bad. It gives some things away in the book, but really they're 2 different entities in a lot of points. And I liked the book a lot. Like, I thought it was done really well. What the book does, I think far better than the movie, is give you a sense of dread for Mallory and the rest of the people in this book. So I highly recommend that you read the book. I don't think it really ruins anything if you watch the movie before the book. Like, I really don't. I didn't find it to be. The next book I read is The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. Now, The Proposal follows this gal named Nicole, who is proposed to by her boyfriend at the time using a Jumbotron at a Dodgers game. Now, the problem with this is that he spells her name wrong on the Jumbotron, and they've only been dating for a few months. She doesn't see a future with this guy. Well, after she says no, her then-boyfriend takes off in a huff, and a guy named Carlos comes to swoop down to save her from news anchors who are trying to get an interview over the botched proposal. What follows is a love story between Nicole and Carlos. I wish that the botched proposal in this book had more of an effect throughout the storyline. It doesn't really. It's kind of put on a back burner. You hear about it once or twice more, but really in passing. It's kind of just, There's only one conflict that comes from it, and it's such a small part in the otherwise grand scheme of this book, which I was a little sad about, because that premise was just really good to me, and I just thought it was so great. Now, the relationship of this book I thought was really well done. I did do a reviewing romance video, which I'll link down in the description below. The last book that I read in April is My Sister the Serial Killer, and sorry, I'm going to have to put up my phone to read out this name because I'm not bright. And it is by Oyinkan Braithwaite? I'm sorry guys, I can't pronounce nothing for the life of me. But My Sister the Serial Killer is about this gal named Karede who has a sister named Ayula who has killed multiple of her boyfriends. Karede helps her sister clean up after her murders each and every time. So this book really follows the latest victim that Ayula has, Ayula being Karede's sister, and the subsequent things that happen afterwards. So the fact that there's groups who are looking for the guy that Ayula kills online. Social media is a very big part of this story because the boyfriend that Ayula kills, there's hashtags being like, he's missing and where is he, and that kind of thing. So Kurede has to be the one to rein in her sister, saying, you can't keep doing this because people are looking for this guy, and if you keep doing your BS, you're gonna get caught. It's a really good look at how when you help someone do horrible things, or if you help them clean up the messes that they've made that are just plain horrible, that you're just as culpable. Like, you take responsibility then and there. And this explores it in a very, I think, kind of nuanced way. Now, the chapters are really short, so some of the pacing is a little bit disjointed because we go from following the storyline into this kind of broken piece about their past, and then it goes back into the storyline. So some of the pacing can be a little bit messed up, but I did like this book overall. I thought the narrative was beautiful, and I really liked the characterizations that happened until the end. Those are the books I read for April. Have you read any of these books? What did you think about them? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Why? If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you like seeing my beautiful face talk about books, hit that subscribe button. And as always and forever, may you get lost in a book.